One of the most common mistakes that I see when people are performing their skipping drills during their warm-up routine is when they bring their leg up, they want their shoulders to come forward. And so they get into this weird forward tilt or my shoulders and head down kind of posture. And that is not what you want to do when you're doing these skipping drills, because in this position, I want to make sure that when my leg comes up, I don't bring my shoulder down. I want to keep my shoulders and my head up in a neutral position. My right leg comes up. Now, in this video, I'm going to really break down 6 common skipping drills, why they're important, and how you can do them more efficiently so that your running can improve, whether it's you're trying to improve your speed, your endurance, or decrease your chances of sustaining an injury during this upcoming season. So the purpose of all of these skipping drills is to help me understand the rhythm that I want my body to go through as I get into my running. The positions that I'll put my legs in, it's an exaggerated movement because I'm trying to work on mobility, I'm trying to work on cadence, I'm trying to teach my body how to use gravity and body weight and my muscles in a way that it needs to do when I'm actually running in a race or going at full speed if I'm a sprinter. But these skipping drills are going to be an exaggeration of a lot of the movements that my body is going through when I'm actually running in a race. But the first one I want to show you is an A skip, which is very familiar. A lot of you have done this before. You've heard of it, or maybe you have it as part of your warm-up routine. And I'm just going to break it down for you again for those that are not familiar with it. The A skip is really bringing my body in what we call the A position. So A position is in this case, my right leg. I'm going to bring it up. My knee is about the height of my hip. My foot is directly under my knee or slightly behind, so my knee is slightly bent. My ankle is just in a neutral position. Now, I know some athletes will keep their foot in a dorsiflex position. That's perfectly fine if you've been trained to do that way. I know hurdlers, I coach them to do that. They have to do that in order for them to clear the hurdle. Other athletes, they may or may not do that. Some athletes, I don't tell them to do that because they do it too often and it leads to a lot of tension in their muscles in the front of their leg, which leads to shin splints. So every athlete is different. So just talk to your coach about how you should do that and which one is going to work for you. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to say, let's keep our ankle in a neutral position. So I'm going to be here, and then I'm just going to alternate onto the opposite leg. So that is going to be my A skip. And as I'm skipping, I'm bringing my foot in and out of this position. 2 things to keep in mind. These are the 2 most common mistakes that I see is, one, when athletes get out of this position, they want to strike their foot out in front of their body. As you know from all of my previous videos, that is an overstride, and that's something that we never want to do. So I don't want to do that when I'm running, and because of that, I don't want to do that when I'm doing my warm-up drills. The second mistake that I see is when people bring their leg up, they want to bend at their shoulders. Again, a very bad position to be in as a runner, and I don't want to do that while I'm warming up or doing these drills either. So I want to make sure that when I'm warming up and doing these skipping drills, I am emphasizing proper mechanics, proper posture, and proper body position. So there's a way that I will teach somebody how to do it if they've never done the skipping drill before, or they have trouble getting the rhythm down so that they're actually performing this skipping drill properly. All I want to do is bring this foot up, back up into the A position, and I'm going to hop on the opposite leg. And so this is how it'll look. And then we want to just alternate on the other side. I want to make sure that I keep my head up and my shoulders up as well. So that is a better posture. If you practice that, you'll feel your body moving a lot smoother down the track or down the road when you're doing this drill. So try it looking down versus looking straight ahead. You will notice the difference. So again, let's demonstrate here. next drill is the B skips. This is the one that I find athletes mess up the most. Now, it's pretty controversial, if you will, because every coach and every athlete will teach this drill and show it a little bit differently. I will show you the way that I do it, but before I demonstrate it, I'm going to show you the most common mistake when doing this drill. So when I'm teaching somebody how to do the B skip, I like to use the term bicycle. So I use that as an analogy. So think of your B skip as riding a bike. So when I'm riding a bike, my legs go into a cycle motion. So that's essentially what I'm doing when I'm doing my B skip. My B skip is not bringing my foot up, kicking my leg out as far as I possibly can, and then trying to land with my foot in front of my body. As you know, again, from my previous videos, that is a bad position to be in as a runner. So I don't want to do that. So think of your B skip as riding a bike. So think of pulling my foot up, I come out, and then I come right back down. So my start position is here, my end position is also here. So even though I'm bringing my foot up and I'm releasing, I bring that foot back under my body. That is the cycle that I want to go through when I'm running and even when I'm doing my skipping drill. So the way that I like to teach this is simply standing, hands on your waist so that you can focus on what your legs are doing, and just practice that cyclic pattern, that cycle. Now you're going to do that again, but this time you're going to hop on the opposite foot. So as I bring this leg up, I'm going to hop on this leg. Now that we've practiced it in place, we can practice it moving forward and focusing on, again, that cycle pattern. So I'm going to still have hands on waist so that you can focus on what your legs are doing. Again, I don't want to kick out in front of me. I don't want to do this. That's reaching and that's kicking out. I want to take my foot and try to bring it back down. The next drill is the C skip. Now this is one that's most commonly done for hurdlers because it helps them with their rhythm as well as their hip mobility. But it's good for all athletes to do because it, again, helps with rhythm and your hip mobility, which is something that's very important for all athletes. And so the way to do the C skip is you're going to come first of all in that A position, just like we did earlier with the A skip. But then immediately after that, when you bring your foot down, you're going to bring it out. And so my knee is going to come out to the side. So in this case, my right foot, my right knee is going to go out to my right. I'm trying to point my knee out in this direction, like I'm stretching the inner thigh. And then I'm going to bring my foot back down. The thing that really gets people hung up on this particular skipping drill is their arm position. A lot of times they don't know what to do with their arms. So then it becomes a very weird movement and just very awkward for them. And so the way that I kind of teach my athletes to do is that you're going to do your A skip just like normal. So that first part of the C skip is going to be a normal arm movement, just like you would when you were doing your A skip or your B skip. But then when you bring your foot out into this position, it's going to be weird because you don't want to hit your elbow on your thigh. So what you can do is bring this arm across your body just slightly. So I'm trying to bring my right hand over towards my left shoulder, and that's going to allow me to rotate my hips. My upper body is going to rotate a little bit, but it's going to help that movement be a lot smoother. And that's a lot better and a lot less awkward than trying to do something else with my arms. And so again, I'm going to demonstrate this in place. So here's my C skip. And as I do that in place, and the next one is called foot taps. Now I have another video that goes into more depth with this particular drill because it is one of my favorite running drills to show my sprinters as well as my mid-distance runners that are trying to improve their speed. So it's a great drill that I love to do as part of a warm-up, as part of our return to running program, and as part of our general strengthening and conditioning program as well. So foot taps is going to look kind of similar to the A-skip. However, I'm really just focusing on pulling my foot off the ground and bringing it up under my hip. So even though my knee is coming forward, I'm not focusing on bringing my knee up first. I'm focusing on bringing my foot up first and pulling it directly under my hip. So this is what it'll look like as I'm in place. So I'm just tapping my foot on the ground and pulling it up again. And I can hop on the opposite leg. As I feel comfortable, I go into a small skipping pattern, or what I like to call a foot tap. Another skipping drill that I really love to do is the drop skip. Now, this one is not necessarily specific to runners. This is something that we show all of our athletes because, again, it helps with their hip mobility as well as their rhythm and coordination. And so what you're going to do is think of skipping backwards. And I like to tell people, think about like you're trying to step over a chair as you're going back. All right, and that's really trying to open up the hips, trying to get into that rhythm. You're going to do a skipping pattern as you are doing that. And so I'm going to demonstrate. This is kind of simply what it'll look like. You're going back in this position, and I'll be here. And with this one, instead of swinging my arms, I just like to kind of keep my hands in this position, just kind of keep them in front of my chest. That way my elbows are up and I don't have to worry about hitting my elbows on my thigh or doing an arm swing or what to do with my hands. I just keep them in this position and I focus on my legs. So here. This drill is often one that's typically forgotten about because we don't think about just doing a normal skip. Normal skipping, just like you were a kid on a playground, or skip to my loo, all those drills that we used to do as kids, we didn't really think about them as running drills, but it's something that I found that is really effective in teaching athletes how to get into a rhythm of picking their foot off the ground, and how to get into a rhythm of how to swing their arms, how to keep their shoulders loose and relaxed, how to work on their posture. Just regular skipping is a great drill to do. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like. And so just a regular skip, as I'm here, I'm not really thinking about my arm position. I'm not trying to focus on keeping my elbow bent or swinging them. I'm just keeping everything loose and relaxed, because I want this to be very easy and efficient. So when I build upon this drill by doing a skip and some of the other skips, it's going to be a lot more easier, a lot more fluid, and a lot more smooth, because I've learned this foundational drill, which is just skipping, right? Skipping in place. I can skip forward. And as I do that skip, I can transition quickly into a forward run. So I would encourage you to try just a normal skipping drill before we move on to the next ones. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us to get more views so that we can help more people just like you learn how to run faster, run longer, and run pain-free. I also want to invite you to join our online community. This is where we will teach you how to run faster, run longer, and run pain-free. We take a deep dive into what it means to improve your running form, how you can program your workouts, and what it takes to really keep yourself injury-free as you're preparing for your upcoming running season. So I hope you join our community. If you're interested, just click the link below in the description and someone from our team will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Thank you.